Good morning, students. Today we learn chapter 2, sexual reproduction in flowering plants. What is meant by sexual reproduction? We have already studied. The sexual reproduction is nothing but with the involvement of gametes, with the involvement of male and female organism. The reproduction takes place, that is known as sexual reproduction. Today, chapter 2, sexual reproduction in flowering plants. In this lesson, we learn pollination and what is meant by pollination and the kinds of pollination and clistogamous, chasmogamous flowers, so on and so on. First, what is meant by pollination? Pollination is nothing but the transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma. Normally, you are studied in 11th standard. Flowers contain calyx, the outer hole of the plant or outer hole of the flowers, and then second hole is corolla, and the third hole is androsium is important, and the gynosium and the fourth hole. So, in the calyx and corolla is non-essential parts. In androsium and gynosium is essential parts for the sexual reproduction. Androsium is nothing but the male part of the flower, and the gynosium is nothing but the female part of the flower. What is meant by pollination? The transfer of pollen grain. The transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma. Listen, this is actually, imagine this is a flower. It's actually a bisexual flower. There is calyx and that corolla or petal, simply known as petal. This is pedicel, already I studied in 11th standard. Pedicel, this is stalk of the flower, and then this green color is actually the area is known as calyx. Simple is known as sepal, and the next part is known as petal. Sepal and petal is non-essential parts. The next part is known as androsium. It's actually singular is known as stamen. The singular is known as stamen, and then this is gynosium. Gynosium means ovary, style, and the stigma. Pollination is nothing but the transfer of pollen grain. Where the pollen grain are produced? In the anther. This is actually filament. Then anther, totally known as stamen. In the anther only the pollen grains are produced. In pollen grain, produced pollen grain are transferred to the stigma. The transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma. The process is known as pollination. The transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma is known as pollination. Pollination normally are divided into three types: self-pollination and the cross-pollination in 10th standard. But in 12th standard, the types of pollination or kinds of pollination is nothing but autogamy and chitinogamy and then xenogamy. Autogamy means what? The transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma. The transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma of the same flower. The transferring, the pollination occurs, but within the flower. When a single flower is actually a bisexual because it contains male part and the female part. In a single flower, the stamen produce anther and anther produce pollen grain. The pollen grain from anther to stigma means the process is known as autogamy. Autogamy is nothing but the transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma of the same flower is known as autogamy. Then, and next one is autogamy. Normally, various plants. For example, this is bisexual plant, and some plants like viola, this common pansy, and oxalis and camellia. Camelina is actually viola, oxalis and camellia is actually plants, flowering plants, angiosperm, produce two types of flowers. Two types of flowers means it's nothing but that is chasmogamous and clistogamous. Chasmogamous means what? Chasmogamous is nothing but that is open flower. Open flower is known as chasmogamous flowers. Open means like hibiscus. During bud stage, the flowers are closed. During development, the bud slowly opens and the stamen is exposed in the air, and stigma and the style also exposed in the air. The flowers is open means the flower is chasmogamous. Is example hibiscus, rose. Majority of the all plants is actually a chasmogamous. Chasmogamous is nothing but open flowers which is exposed anther and exposed stamen and the gynosium. Is easily we see anther and the stamen and the stigma and all the things, all the parts in the flowers in open form. What is chasmogamous? Then another type of flowers is clistogamous. Clistogamous means it is closed flowers. For example, groundnut. You all know groundnut is a dihybrid, the dicot plant, angiosperm. And the clistogamous means the hibiscus, not hibiscus, Arachis hybogia, like groundnut, which produce two types of flowers. In the soil, above the soil, they produce chasmogamous flowers. In below the soil, it produce some flowers that is closed. The closed flowers is known as clistogamous. So, chasmogamous is nothing but normal flower. Normally, you seen anther and the stamen are exposed, as well as the stigma and style also exposed. The next one is clistogamous flowers means is nothing but this is closed flowers. Closed flowers means during bud stage also closed. After development also it's not open at all. At maturity also the flowers, the petal, other parts is not exposed. Only is closed. The closed flowers during the lifetime, full the timing of the maturity, it is not open. The type of flowers is known as clistogamous flowers. So the clistogamous flowers means it's not open at all. So it only follows self-pollination, not cross-pollination. So only self-pollination is assured seed production. Only self-pollination occurs in the clistogamous because it is not open. Open only the other pollen grains and landed on the stigma. It follows cross-pollination, or maybe chitinogamy, or maybe xenogamy. But in clistogamous flowers is closed flowers. Even maturity also it is not open. Like viola, oxalis, camellia, it produces two types of flowers. Closed flowers as well as open flowers. Open flowers is nothing but chasmogamous flowers, and the closed flowers is nothing but clistogamous flowers. Okay, that is actually chasmogamous and clistogamous. The pollination, the transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma is known as pollination. The transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma of the same flower is known as autogamy or self-pollination. The transfer of pollen grain, for example, here on hibiscus plant, hibiscus flower. Next, here in after some here another one hibiscus flowers. It's not hibiscus, it's another one plant. So here also not hibiscus, another one plant. Then the transfer of pollen from anther to stigma of the different plant of different flowers means the process is xenogamy. Autogamy means what? The transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma of the same flower is known as autogamy. Then xenogamy means the transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma of the different plant stigma, not the same flower, not the same plant. In different plant flower means the process is known as xenogamy. Okay, xenogamy is nothing but the transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma of the different plant, but same species. A different plant of the same species is known as xenogamy. Then chitinogamy, that is chitinogamy means is nothing but here one flowers are produced in one branch, it's actually stem. In another branch here, that is axial, another one type of flowers, another hibiscus or maybe any plant are produced flowers. So the transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma of the different flower of the same plant, of the different plant of the different flower of the same plant mean that is chitinogamy. Okay, this is chitinogamy. So autogamy is nothing but the transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma of the same flower. Chitinogamy is nothing but transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma of the another flower of the same plant is known as chitinogamy. Next one is xenogamy. Xenogamy is nothing but the transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma of the different flower on the different plant. Different plant means that is xenogamy. Same plant but in different flower means that is chitinogamy. And then within the same flower the pollination occurs mean that is autogamy. The pollination in generally three types: autogamy, chitinogamy, xenogamy. Autogamy means the transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma of the same flower. Chitinogamy means the transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma of the same plant but in different flower. Xenogamy means the transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma of another plant of another flower, but same species is known as xenogamy. Autogamy is generally self-pollination. Chitinogamy and xenogamy generally cross-pollination. Okay. Then chasmogamous and clistogamous. Chasmogamous means open flowers. During bud it is closed, but then after maturity it is open and produce anther and the pollen grain, all the things. And clistogamous means closed flowers even maturity. After maturity also it is not open, only closed flowers. Only in clistogamous flowers self-pollination only occurs, no cross-pollination. Okay, that is known as clistogamous. So next section addition by agents for pollination. Normally we know variety of agents for pollination. One is abiotic agents and another one is biotic agents. Abiotic agents means what? Wind, water, this is abiotic agents. Biotic agents means animals. In animals, variety of abiotic agents are present like insects, birds, human, and various biotic agents. Abiotic agents for pollination is nothing but the agents which is used for pollination. Generally, abiotic agents, wind and water. And the biotic agents means animals. In various abiotic agents are present and the various biotic agents also present. Okay? Yes. So next one is wind pollination. What is meant by pollination? Already I have studied the transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma. Same flower or maybe different flower is known as pollination, and we have studied pollination and the types. The first one is abiotic agents. Normally, agents means is the instrument or the structure or the organism which is useful for transferring the pollen grain from anther to stigma. The agents it is said to be pollinating agents. Normally, you know two types of pollinating agents are present. First, abiotic pollinating agents and the biotic pollinating agents. First, we have studied abiotic agents. Abiotic agents, the first agent for pollination is wind. So, majority of the plants following wind pollination. So, wind pollinated flowers is actually the pollen grain is light weighted and non-sticky. Then only the pollen grains easily transferred through the air current or wind current. If suppose the pollen grain is strong weight more means it is not easily traveled through the wind current. So first character of the wind pollinated flowers is the pollen grains are produced and the pollen grains are light weighted and is non-sticky. Non-sticky means it does not contain any sticky substance. Because, for example, the pollen grain transferred from one place to another place, it is landed on the leaf. If sticky means the pollen grain are sticky in the leaf. But in non-sticky means, and the next wind current, the particular landed in the leaf, it's again through the wind, its flow, and sometimes it reaches the stigma. So, wind pollinated flowers, the first character is pollen grain is light weighted and non-sticky. Then only the pollen grain easily transferred through the wind current. The next one is a well exposed anther, well exposed stamen. For example, the stamen are inside the flower, means how easily the pollen grains are traveled through the wind. In the flower, the pollen grain are exposed out to the flowers, is easily visible in nature, is not inside the flower. It is exposed outside the flower, means through the wind current the pollen grain is easily traveled. So it is well exposed anther. And the stigma also, well exposed stigma. Suppose if the flower inside the small anther and small stigma means it is not exposed to the air, so it is not easily traveled through the wind current. So well exposed anther and well exposed stigma, it is characteristic of wind pollinated flowers. Then only easily exposed in wind easily travel through the wind. Well exposed and large feathery stigma. Stigma is actually feathery stigma. For example, stigma or single line or single or needle-like structure means it is through the wind current, it is not receiving the more pollen grain. Suppose feathery like stigma means feathers is actually it receives more pollen grain from the wind. So feathery stigma is present, particularly in wind pollinated flowers. Feathery stigma only, it is a feathers like structure, it easily trap the many pollen grain from the wind. So light weighted pollen grain and the feathery stigma, as a large feathery stigma is a characteristic of wind pollinated flowers. And the ovules normally single because due to wind only one or two pollen grains only received by the stigma. Suppose the ovule is more, for example, tomato ovary contain more ovules. So more ovules means it need more pollen grain for the fertilization. Through the wind, only one or two pollen grain only landed on the stigma. How the 20 ovules are get fertilized by one pollen grain? So it is not possible. So normally wind pollinated flowers, the ovary contain only one ovule. By chance one pollen grain is reached the stigma, it travel through the style and reach the ovules, and inside the ovule egg is present and fertilized with egg. Normally wind pollinated flowers is contain single ovule for the easy seed production. More ovules means it is difficult to receive more pollen grain through the wind current. So it is difficult to produce fruits and seeds. Generally, wind pollinated flowers ovary contain only one ovule. That easily it's received pollen grain through the wind, and the one ovules get fertilized by the one pollen grain. Okay. Then give an example for the wind pollination means is nothing but corn plant. Corn, you know, the hair-like structures present outside the corn is nothing but corn cup of tassels. Cup of tassels is nothing but stigma and style. So actually the corn plant, green color layer which is sheath which covers the corn, which peel the particular leaf and the green colored sheath means hair-like structures are present in the corn plant. The hair-like structure is nothing but corn cup of tassels. The tassel is nothing but stigma and style. Already you have studied, stigma is lengthy and feathery, that is in the hair-like structure which is receiving the pollen grain. The corn cup of tassel is nothing but it is stigma and style of corn plant. Actually corn plant is wind pollinated plants, wind pollinated flowers. Okay. Then normally wind pollination mainly occurs in grass. Then only the grass population in our society, in our area is more, because without any water or without any pollinating agents like insects and other things, normally which one easily traveled from one place to another place. So grasses normally wind pollinated. So only the more variety of grass, more number of grass in our areas. Through wind current is easily pollen grain is traveled and this reach the stigma, develop into a seeds and develop into a new plant. Even grass follows vegetative propagation also, but in sexual reproduction, in majority of the grass plants, it follows wind pollination. So what is meant by pollination? Pollination is nothing but transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma. In the wind pollination is actually abiotic agents. The flowers are using abiotic agent like wind as a pollinating substance, pollinating agent. Wind pollinated plants are pollen grains are lightweighted, well exposed, large feathery and single ovule, and the corn cup of tassel is nothing but stigma and style of the corn plant. Okay. Next, water pollination. So next one is water pollination. First, wind pollination with the use of wind current, air current, the pollen grain and transferred from anther to stigma. The next one is water pollination. Normally, water pollination is rare because we know the water availability of water is rare. Only availability of water in certain ecosystem like pond ecosystem and sea and marine and some mountains. So generally water is low as compared to the wind. So water pollination also rare. Only 30 genera, 30 genus of angiosperms. Angiosperm has more genus. Only 30 genus of angiosperm only it follows water as a pollinating agent, particularly in monocotyledons. Mainly monocotyledons using water for the pollination. Okay, and normally we know bryophytes, algae and pteridophytes. Bryophytes, algae and pteridophytes. These three category. Normally, in 11th standard, you have studied Whitaker's 5 kingdom classification: Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, Animalia. In Monera, prokaryotes unicellular, and Protista, eukaryote unicellular. Fungi is saprophytes, multicellular, and Plantae category, multicellular, eukaryotic, photosynthetic. In plant A, we have studied algae, bryophytes and pteridophytes, gymnosperms and angiosperms. In plants category, algae, bryophytes and pteridophytes normally use water for transferring the gamete. There it is not pollination, because the transfer of pollen grain only it is known as pollination. Here algae is not produce flowers, it does not produce pollen grain, but it produces male gamete like anthrozoite. And the bryophyte also produce male gamete, anthrozoite, in the antheridium. And the female gamete egg is produced in the archegonium or oogonium. So here is pollination is the term is not applicable. Here the transfer of gamete transfer, it is takes place in water. So only the bryophytes is known as amphibians of the plant kingdom. Normally, generally we called amphibian means what? The organism both present land and water. It is not exactly correct in this context. Amphibians means actually the bryophytes is present in land area, but it need water for the sexual reproduction. It need water for transferring the male gamete into the female area with the use of water only. Suppose during reproductive time, during sexual reproductive time, water availability is less, means the bryophytes and pteridophytes, even algae also, it's not perform fertilization and not produce the next generation. So only these three organisms limited in some places. Algae only present in near water areas, and bryophytes only present in mountain areas, not here. Only below 25 degrees Celsius it is needed water for the pollination, not pollination, it is transferring the gamete. Pteridophytes also need water. So only these three organisms, algae and the bryophytes and pteridophytes, need water. Then only it is present only in certain geographical area, is not present in all the areas. So we know these three categories need water for transferring the male gamete into the female gamete area. So these organisms need water. So these three organisms need water or use water as transferring the gamete. The next one is angiosperms. Water pollinating flowers or plants means Vallisneria and Hydrilla. This is actually a freshwater organism. Like sea grasses like Zoostra also, it is follows water for pollination. Okay, water pollination is nothing but the pollination done with the use of water. Pollination means what? The transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma is known as pollination. For pollinating, for transferring the male gamete to the female area, it's need water for pollination, means that plants is said to be water pollinated plants. Only 30 genus only, and some lower organisms like algae, bryophytes and pteridophytes need water for transferring the gamete. And then angiosperms, Vallisneria and Hydrilla, Zoostra also use water for pollination. Okay, how? The Hydrilla, the Zoostra. Hydra is different. Hydra is an animal category. It is Coelenterata. Here Hydrilla is a plant, angiosperm. Here this is actually Vallisneria. Vallisneria is actually female flower. Female flower here. This is female flower. And male flower are produced in cluster here. Male flower. Male flower produced in the base of the plant, and the female flowers is actually spirally arranged female flowers, spiral like female flowers are present. This is actually expanded part of the female flower. This is actually a female flower. Female flower, expanded view. This is actually pollen grain. This is actually stigma and the female flower, stigma. So this is Vallisneria. In Vallisneria, the plant is located in the water area here. This is actually water. Imagine this is a pond water. In the pond, the Vallisneria is located in the lower side, lower side of the pond, that is in the soil, and the flower slowly develops. And this is actually leaves. It's able to perform photosynthesis. During reproductive time, it produces male flowers. The flowers which contain male part, that is pollen grain, and the female flowers also. Female flowers actually is spiral-like arrangement. Upon maturity, the female flowers expand and reach the surface of the water. Surface of the water, it slowly emerges. In the surface of water, after maturity, the male pollen grain is released. Male flowers are released. The male flowers slowly is traveled in the water current and reach the surface of water. It is the surface of water. Surface of water. In the surface of water, it slowly through the wind current or through the movement of water, slowly it's moved, and sometimes it reach the female flower. This is actually female flower located in the surface of the water, and it reach the stigma. It's actually pollen grain are present. It's a male flower. The pollen grain are present, and the pollen grain reach the female flower stigma and follows pollination. And after pollination, the pollen grains is actually ovules and the ovaries are present in the down area, and through the style it's slowly pollination and fertilization occurs. After fertilization, develop into fruits and seeds, and seeds again after some times, after dormancy, develop into a new plant. Okay, this is actually Vallisneria, hydrophyte, aquatic plants, water plants. How the hydrilla, how to the Vallisneria, it follows pollination by water. Okay, the Vallisneria is actually hydrophyte. It contains male and female flowers. The female actually is like a spiral-like flowers, and upon maturity, the male flowers are released. And normally, male flowers are light-weighted, as well as pollen grains contain mucilaginous sheath. It's actually water, so it's a jelly-like covering which covers the pollen grain. So the jelly-like substance is known as mucilaginous or mucilage. With the use of mucilage, is not attracted by the water, and it slowly through the water current move the top surface of the water body, and through the wind and through the water movement, slowly it's reach the stigma, means it follows pollination, and all the events of fertilization and development takes place. So this is Vallisneria. How Vallisneria follows water pollination. Normally in other plants, also water plants, some plants like water hyacinth, we know, terror of Bengal, lotus, lily. So actually these are water plants, but not use water for pollination. So actually use insects or other wind for pollination. So not all the water plants use water pollination. Normally, generally we thinking, so generally present in water, so the plant also use water for pollination. No, that is not correct. So not all the water plants use water for pollination. Only few water plants use water. If a lotus is not using water for pollination, lily is not using water for pollination, water hyacinth, eichhornia, pistia, the variety of plants not using water for pollination, because the lotus is above the water level. The surface of the water level means it is easily pollen grain is received. Suppose if the surface of the water, here lotus present means how the pollen grain, the male flower, from the surface to enter into the flowers is not possible. So lotus is not possible for water pollination. Use wind or use insects for pollination. Okay, so not all the water plants use water for the pollination. Only few water plants only, few aquatic plants only, like Zoostra, Hydrilla, Vallisneria like plants only use water pollination. Okay, this is the water pollination. Water pollination is nothing but pollination done with the use of water. The 30 genus in angiosperms is normally using water, mainly monocotyledons. Normally, you know, algae, bryophytes and pteridophytes. The regular mode of transferring the gamete is water. So only the prawns and bryophytes is known as amphibians of the plant kingdom, because it need water for the transferring the gametes, not pollination. Okay, then the other things and Vallisneria, how the water pollination occurs in the Vallisneria. Okay, in next class, next pollination, the insects. Listen, students, in last class, wind pollination and the water pollination we have studied. The next one is animals for pollination. Normally, you know, the pollination, the transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma is known as pollination. Pollination done with the use of two factors, abiotic factors and the biotic factors. Already we have studied abiotic factors like wind pollination and the water pollination. Now, animals pollination. Biotic factors, animal pollination. Normally, various animals used for pollination. It's transferring the male gamete, transferring the pollen grain from anther to the stigma. So, various animals. Normally, animal pollination is technically known as zoophily. With the use of animals, the pollen grains are transferred from one plant to the next plant, or one flower to the next flower, or within the same flower also. So the process is zoophily, that is animals for pollination. Various animals used for pollination like bees, honeybees, butterflies, flies and beetle, small insects, wasp, type of insects, ant, moth, birds, even bat also used for the pollination. Insects, particularly bees. Bees only is a dominating pollinating agents in animals category. Dominating pollinating agent means what? Bees only, majority of the organism. Bees, it is used for the pollination. The next one is primates. Primates also used for pollination. What is meant by primate? Primate is simply known as mammals. Already are studied in 11th standard. Animals are categorized into non-chordate and the chordate. Non-chordate means it is invertebrate from porifera to echinoderms, and the chordate is again categorized into protochordata and vertebrata. Protochordata again categorized into cephalochordata and urochordata. Then the vertebrates. Vertebrates means fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds and mammals. In mammals categories, we categorize the mammals into two categories. It is primates and non-primates. Non-primates means like cow, buffalo, cat, tiger. These are all non-primates. It is follows the Easter cycle, are studied in first lesson. And primates means like monkey, apes, humans are under the primates, following menstrual cycle as a reproductive cycle. Here primates also, like a monkey and other organisms also, which is used for pollination, like lemurs is actually a primate mammal. It's used for pollination. An arboreal animal. The animal is dwelling or habitating in trees. It is arboreal animal. Arboreal tree dwelling rodent. Rodent also used for which one? For the pollination. So primates also used for pollination. It's transferring the pollen grain from anther to stigma, and some animals like arboreal, tree-dwelling animals like a rodent also used for the pollination. The next one, reptiles. Reptiles also used for pollination. Reptiles, the gecko lizard and the normal garden lizard also used for the pollination. Okay, so various organisms in animals category used for pollination. We have I give a small idea about animals used in pollination. The various names also present, like ant also used for pollination. You see some plants, ant is normally moving and getting through the collecting nectar, it is forms pollination, follows pollination also. So various organisms used for pollination. In particularly insects, particularly bees, is a dominating pollinating agents in animals. The next, how insect pollinator flowers, how insect pollination occurs in the flowering plant. Next pollination is wind pollination. Water and wind we have studied. Then I give brief idea about animal, that is zoopily, animals used for pollination. In mainly animals means insect, particularly bees is the dominating pollinating agents in animals category. So how insect pollination occurs? What are all the characters of insect pollinated plants? Normally, insect pollinated plants is otherwise known as endomophilous flowers. Endomophily means insect pollination. Normally, the insect pollinated flowers are large, colorful. Large only, it is easily visible by the insects, and colorful only, it is attracted by the insects. And fragrant, it produces more scenty smell for attracting the insects. And rich in nectars, for insects need some nectars, honey, for their transferring the pollen grain. So insect pollinated plants or flowers are large, colorful, and attract fragrant and rich in nectars for attracting the insects. The next characters are small insects. Small flowers means insect pollinated plants. Small flowers means it is not easily attracted by the insects. So the small flowers are clustered, grouped to form a inflorescence. Inflorescence already I have studied in 11th standard. Racemose inflorescence and cymose inflorescence. Inflorescence is nothing but the bunch of flowers is known as inflorescence. So and small insect pollinated flowers means the insect pollinated flowers group to form a large conspicuous. Conspicuous means easily visible. Opposite inconspicuous. Easily visible. Small flowers means is not visible for the insects. So more small flowers combined to form an inflorescence means insect easily visible. Insect easily identifiable. Conspicuous to the insects. So easily come to the particular flowers and bring about insect pollination. So insect pollinated plants are large, colorful and fragrant, rich in nectars, and the inflorescence is actually a small flowers means the flower is grouped into inflorescence, then only it is easily visible by the insects. Then the nectars and pollen grains are present. Normally insect pollinated plants which is contain more nectars and the pollen grain, because the pollen grain sometimes is edible by the insects. Sometimes the insects eat pollen grain as well as nectars. Few pollen grains are deposited on the other flower stigma, bring about pollination. So sometimes the nectars or pollen grains are edible for the insects. So normally insect pollinated plants produce more pollen grain and the nectars for bring about pollination. Okay, for the floral reward. Floral reward means flowers giving a reward to the insects. Normally insects only forms pollination, it's perform pollination. For performing pollination, flowers give reward to the insect. The reward is nothing but the pollen grain and the nectars. With the using the reward, the insect brings the pollination in a particular plant. Then tallest plant we know. Tallest plant means The flowers itself 6 feet or 7 feet height. That is Amorphilus plant, Amorphilus flower, that is Titan arum, world tallest flowers. Normally world tallest plant in gymnosperm, Sequoia, California redwood tree. World smallest angiosperm, Ulfia and Eriza. And tallest angiosperm, Eucalyptus. Here the tallest flower, largest flower is Rafflesia. Rafflesia also is following insect for pollination. Here tallest flower is Amorphilus flowers, that is Titan arum. This is a flower itself 6 to 7 feet in height, use insect for pollination. Then normally majority of the flowers provide pollen grain and nectar for the insects, but some flowers like a yucca plant give safe place to the laying eggs for the moth. Moth is a type of insect. Moth only perform pollination in yucca plant. For the yucca plant, yucca flowers give space, give habitat for the moth lay eggs. Then moth lay eggs in the lacule in the ovary. Lacule means the space in the ovary. And then the egg is slowly develop into larva. Then another stage, even ovary also slowly develop into fruits. After formation of fruits, if opening the fruit means the inside the fruits, the insect larva and insects are present. The majority of the insect pollinator plants provide pollen grain, provide nectars and attract the insects for the pollination. But in moth and yucca plant, normally yucca plant produce or provide safe place for the laying eggs for the moth species. Moth is actually an insect which lay eggs in the yucca plant lacule of the ovary. During development, and the moth young one get nutrition from the yucca plant ovary and fruits and developed. After development, and the insects is spread out in the outside. Okay, majority of the insect pollinator plants colorful and fragrant rich in nectars are producing pollen grain and nectars for the insects. Some plants like yucca plants providing safe place for the moth species. In some plants, some insects which take the pollen grain, which take the nectar, but not follows pollination, not perform pollination. These type of insect is known as pollen robbers.